AFC West, and Patrick Mahomes has 6 turnovers in their last 3 games. Yuck. KC's defense has been shaky, but Mahomes said Wednesday that his turnovers are not based on an urgency to score to make up for the other side of the ball, adding, quote, "We try to score every single time we touch the football." Damn it. We're joined now by Mark Sanchez, our Fox NFL analyst. Gonna leave you hanging, boy. Ain't that your teammate?
Party foul in the first 10 seconds.
Good Lord. It must be a fire take out here. Acho, let's start with you, who got hung right there. Has the league caught up to Patrick Mahomes?
Golly.
He ain't your boy like that.
At all.
He was just using that as stalling.
He ain't got no notes.
Sanchez like this. No, the league hasn't caught up to Patrick Mahomes. Now, the league has caught up to the Kansas City Chiefs, but let's do our best to differentiate the difference between catching up to the Chiefs and catching up to Mahomes. Mahomes literally leads the NFL in passing touchdowns. The job of a quarterback is to do a lot of things, but most importantly, it's to pass for touchdowns. At the point in which Patrick Mahomes leads the league in passing touchdowns, and they quite literally, regardless of the figurative jargon we're going to use, they literally haven't caught up to Patrick Mahomes. Period. Here ends the lesson. But for the sake of my paycheck, I got to continue teaching. No, they ain't caught up also because if you were to take one, you're going to take Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. We're still taking Patrick Mahomes.
Now, we are.
Is Herbert playing very well? Absolutely. And Herbert, to me, is top 5 right now, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Josh Allen, top 5 right now, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Lamar Jackson, top 5 right now, beyond the shadow of a doubt. But Patrick Mahomes has not been caught up to because Patrick Mahomes can still do things at levels in games that these players have not proven they are capable of doing, mainly because they haven't had the opportunity yet. So I'm not going to knock them. But either way, they haven't done it. Have teams caught up to the Chiefs? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Have teams caught up to Patrick Mahomes? Not at all.
I disagree with that. And you got to remember, catching up to someone is not just physical. Remember, in playing football, it is a human chess match. And our coaches are there trying to put us in the best position so we can execute, correct? So a lot of it comes down to the mastermind of any position that you play. In this position, Patrick Mahomes is playing as great as he can. The problem is the chess pieces aren't moving the same, and it's in part because of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, just in his mental makeup, is a gambler, and he hates being methodical. You can see it actually when it goes down in games. Let's go back a year. What was it? The Houston Texans game. Y'all remember that game? I remember that game because I remember it was the opener, and everybody was like, "Why is Mahomes kind of struggling in this game?" You know what it was? A lot of zone coverage. Hey, Mahomes, we know you want to risk it, but we're going to make you go methodically down the field. Now they won the game, so everyone says, "Oh, he's good." But the blueprint was given to other chess masters out there. You saw it happen again. First time he plays against Justin Herbert, who just finds out 4 seconds before kickoff, hey, you're starting right now, and you're going against Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the game. And what happens in that game? What does Justin Herbert do? Take him to a duel to overtime because that blueprint was out there. It was tried and executed somewhat during last season, but it was finally integrated fully and mixed and mastered in the Super Bowl last year. And then this year, teams have come out with an entire offseason and say, we got it. We know what we got to do. Make Patrick Mahomes get frustrated with himself. And what happens? Andy Reid already talked about it. Andy Reid said this week, I think what's happening is he's getting out there and trying to get it all in one play. Well, that's his DNA. But more importantly, his defense is letting him down to making him.
Agree with that.
You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
That is making him risk it even more on every given play. I give it to you because you're a gambler and you're like Patrick Mahomes. Minus $500 million. You're like Patrick Mahomes. Here's the thing. If all of us. If I go to Vegas, I like to hit the clubs. If we're going to go to Vegas, I'm going to a club. I'm not going to gamble. You're going to gamble. I know you.
Yes, sir.
But if I walked up to you and said, hey, because of your defense, Acho, you got 5 more minutes. You know what you're going to do? You're going to gamble a little harder, right? You know what you're going to do? Push a little more in because you're like, I ain't got much time. This defense is so bad that they're not giving him time on the field. This defense is so bad, it can't stop other teams. So when Patrick Mahomes is sitting there twiddling his thumbs for most of the game, he realizes, you know what I need to do? When I get in there, I'm going to risk it a little more, push these chips into the middle. What has it led to? More turnovers already than he had 2 years ago and tying last year. It's just the mental makeup of Patrick Mahomes and the mental makeup of all the defensive coordinators that have figured this formula out.
Wow. So you're saying there's a blueprint.
That's what he's trying to say.
In some ways, I agree. There's also a blueprint out there to stopping Brady. The problem is you got to execute it.
Bang!
Right? The Bucs did it in the Super Bowl last year. They said, hey, we're going to rush you with 4 and create pressure, just like the Giants did to Tom Brady the 2 times they beat him in a Super Bowl. Yep. They create internal pressure. They move him off the spot. They make him a little jumpy in the pocket. You hit him a couple times. Boom, that's the blueprint. But you also need a little bit of luck. Okay, you also need a couple things to go your way. Speaking of gambling and luck and all that. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's look at their schedule.
Uh-oh.
Browns, Ravens, Chargers, Eagles, and Bills. Okay, 4 of those teams are playoff teams in the AFC.
Facts.
Okay? Browns, Ravens, Chargers, Bills. Nobody would be crazy to say they either win their division or they're runner-up and they're in the dance, right? Okay, cool. That's fair. Then Staley, with that same idea, the defense coordinator from the Chargers says, we're going to play umbrella coverage. He went on Colin's show and said that.
Yes.
He said, we're going to keep everything underneath and make them go down the field 10 to 15 plays at a time. They'll screw up before we do. Fair. And what has he done recently? He's given the ball away.
Thank you.
Mahomes. He's given the ball away. 11 giveaways this year. The problem is the defense ain't helping them.
Thank you.
They're not playing complementary football. It's a little bit of both. I got to agree with both of you guys because the defense is giving up 32 points a game. They can't stop a nosebleed. And 7 yards per play. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's ridiculous. 7 yards a clip. Every time you snap the ball, 7 yards, 7 yards, 7 yards. After our quarterback just turned it over and put us on the field with a short field to defend, it's not complimentary football. That's not his, has it been in his DNA in college? Yes. Did he learn from Alex Smith? Did he get rid of some of those turnover ways? Yes. Is he pressing just a tick? Is the schedule pretty tough? Are there a lot of factors in this thing? Yes. I think he's going to be just fine. I think down the stretch, I would have rather lost to those 4 teams now because you're going to see those teams again.
One, I like that take. Here's my biggest point, though. You brought up the defense. Patrick Mahomes don't play defense.
Okay.
So if we are going to say has the league caught up to Patrick Mahomes, then that's why I say no, because of points that both you and Mark Sanchez so eloquently displayed. The defense is 32nd in the league, 31st in yards, 32nd in
but he's made it hard on him.
Yes. He's not helping.
To that. He's not helping.
He's not helping at all. But Sanchez, I'm sure you've been in this situation, or at least you understand the situation. If you know your defense can't get a stop, now all of a sudden you have to press more. It's the defense is forcing Patrick Mahomes not to necessarily be somebody he's not, but to not be the best version of himself. I don't think they've caught up.
No. Okay, there's 2 ways to catch up to you. Either I run faster than you, or you run slower than you used to. And Patrick Mahomes is not running at his fastest right now. Let's just go there. Okay, let's go back. 2018, first 5 games, averaging 35 points a game. Right now, 30. You may say, oh, that's not a problem. Well, whatever. That's only 5 points. Here's the difference. They're giving up 32. If you were giving us that 35, we win in those games. Point differentials. Just simple math right there. So already, I ain't going to pick on them. But then when you had 35 points per game, only 3 giveaways. Now, 30 points a game, 11 giveaways. Come on, bro. You can't, fewer points and more giveaways, that's a problem. Here's another problem. Defenses, you're still going to see Patrick Mahomes shine because we used to always say it in defensive coordinators' rooms. We say, look, we're going to try and make them go down the field, 10, 15 play drives, hope that they get a penalty, a turnover, a costly mistake. But we also have anxiety because we're like, what if we miss a tackle? What if all of a sudden they break one? And so both sides are sitting there with anxiety. Here's the problem. In his DNA, the way that he was raised to play the position, he like, yo, in case of emergency, break glass and throw that thing. And he's throwing it now to the other team because of that pressure that is coming from his defense and what they're giving up.
I agree. He's pressing. He's pressing just a little bit. And listen, it's 1-2 decisions a game that change the outcome of the game because those are the plays you look back at. And as the play gets longer, traditionally, he's gotten more and more intelligent. As the play extends, he's like, okay, I'm even smarter with the ball. Boom, gotcha. Or I'm smarter with the ball. It's covered. This one's going as a souvenir in the 7th row to the fans. So.
Well, let's ask the real question then.
Yeah.
Because we keep talking about as the league caught up to, there's a difference between catching up to someone and catching someone. You know this in track. Somebody, they catch it.
Oh, here we go, track.
Sorry, Sanchez.
Mark, here we go. How many turns?
If you were to track me, and all of a sudden you're that,
who getting smoked? Who getting
what
caught?
What that means is they catching up. But it don't mean they caught him yet.
Yeah.
So I will concede to the fact that the Chargers are catching up The Bills are catching up. The Ravens are catching up. The Browns are catching up. Right now, Marcellus Wiley has brought Mark Sanchez to the track stadium. They're sitting there with their popcorn, and Sale and Sanchez are going, ooh. But they ain't caught him just yet.
No, you're going to see a surge. Like I said, there's pressure put on every defense that faces Patrick Mahomes. But he ain't going to change, dog, and that's the problem. With this defense, you have to drastically change. You have to play complement.